So it is time for the first ever daily check-in um, on this 21-day challenge that we are actually embarking on. So yeah, I'll just be looking to what I have written. But what must I talk about? So first thing is thoughts. So let me just think. Um, I wasn't really aware to a certain extent about the thoughts that I have had been having building up to this point in time that I'm in right now. But one thing for sure is it wasn't no significant thoughts, nothing that triggered me like really emotionally. But I will say there was something. Okay, I was reading, I mean, not reading, I was watching a video on YouTube about this bro. He does esoteric knowledge, videos, content, whatever. And in this video, he's talking about how Jesus, basically, something that has to do with Jesus and casting out demons with fasting and prayer. So I clicked on that video and I listened to it more so basically. Um, and at the end of the video, I was like, very interesting video, very like I actually felt like I got to digest it. And just to give a glimpse what it talked about um how it is that prayer prayer is basically a spiritual weapon when you use it the right way, or when you know how to use it, which is whenever, let's say, you are having the lustful thoughts for certain things. you know those things are basically temptations that arise naturally in the body, in the mind, and they lead you to a certain direction, right? Because they are willing they are basically attempting to find expression through you being the spirit, the attention, the awareness, the willpower. That's you, right? So he talked about how when you have those thoughts, how you not dealing with them with prayer, you will end up they will end up coming back, and they will continuously take more of your attention to the point now where they are very strong. You are very much tempted to do what they tell you to do, and you end up doing it because you allowed them to take place in your mind. You did not flee from lust, as it says in the Bible, right? So prayer is that exact spiritual weapon to flee from those thoughts. That's how he explained it in the video. He said that with prayer, you whatever, like, you say your prayer, of course, but prayer, what it does is literally it takes your mind the other way, because lust comes and it takes you its own way. But then when you quickly say prayer in that exact moment and rebuke those thoughts and say whatever prayer it is, now the prayer takes you a different way, a completely different way, right? And it takes you and pushes you towards God, towards holiness, towards righteousness, and immediately you start going there, you start emitting that frequency, and almost instantly you are no longer down a path that would inevitably lead you to a relapse or to whatever. And then when he talked about fasting and how fasting is a way of, also it's a spiritual weapon, because the temptations come both in the mind and in the body, right? In the body, they come as the form of a desire, desiring for sex, for example. So now with fasting is the exact mechanism to train yourself, which is your true self, the spirit, is basically to gain that awareness that uh, through the act of fasting. It's not just an act of refusing your body food, but it's an act of claiming your sovereign power, which is that desire, for example, food, or it can be sex, or it can be any other desire that comes naturally into the body. It does not need to be expressed immediately, you know. In fact, not at all, because ultimately the spirit, which is the awareness, which is always within the willpower, is the one that has all the power, because the desire on its own cannot do the action. The thoughts on their own cannot do the action. They have to convince the willpower, the awareness, that you do this and then you do it, because now that's how they get you. They get you through your attention. The more they get into your awareness, they take away your attention towards that they want for you to do. Then you're already going down that path. That's why you have to always seek refuge in the Lord. And I'm not Christian, I'm not religious, but I am willing to test this out for myself. And if it works, then so be it, bro. So be it. If it works, it works. And yeah, not trying to make anything overly long. Um, so that was one thing that I felt, it had the most significance so far in the first 4 hours, basically. Um, and then right now, I just finished having a journal session, where I basically just planned out in a more practical and more clear way as to how I am approaching this entire 21-day challenge. And yeah, it's made it very clear into my mind. Now I know exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So yeah, I am grateful for that. It's absolutely amazing for that. So yeah. And yeah, man, with that being said, I will end this part right here. And yeah, catch you on the next check-in, I guess. Peace. I'm doing the check-in now. I'm supposed to be doing the last check-in now because now the time is 8:30 p.m. But it's only the second one and obviously the last one. I forgot to do the check-in for 5 p.m. I meditated and I took a nap. Um, but then before that, there wasn't much. Like there wasn't anything much because the only thing that I did was exercise after I checked in during the first time that I checked in. After that, I exercised and yeah, I mirror gazed as well with some sort with also mixed with mewing. Yeah, that's what I did. So those are the tasks that I did. And when it comes to just the thoughts or emotions that I felt in that time period, not so much. Yeah, it's nothing significant that I can actually speak on right now about those things. Later on, though, after you know, napping and whatever, my ears did catch some that was happening in between conversations between my father and brother. Yeah, and then my name got mentioned. Not really sure about the context, but yeah, I could just sense it in the ether. It wasn't some positive shit. So that obviously did cause that initial trigger in me. But then I just told myself, I'm like in my head, right? I'm like, bruh, that's a bullshit conversation, just to brush it off. Like, in me saying it's a bullshit conversation was just a way of me saying it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it doesn't include me, yeah, boy, because it's between them. At the end of the day, like, it doesn't concern me. You feel me? So yeah, that's one thing that I could say. K kind of felt a bit significant emotionally, but then yeah, after that, yeah, I just slided and that was it. So then I woke up around 6:30, took a bath, was fresh again, went and had dinner, and did some chores, which is like washing the dishes, taking out the water, and then now I'm back. And I just remembered, like, oh shit, I haven't done this shit, and after this I gotta edit this video and drop it on the same day, because today is officially day one. So me not trying to waste too much time, this is the very first episode you shall bear with the boy, with the man, with the gang. So yeah, shout out, man. uh Day one, some calm shit. Tomorrow, Saturday, going strong. Stay tuned, yes, sir, ski.